Now, let me tell you that if you tell her this instruction today, that doesn't mean tomorrow she will implement it. You take patience and consistent. We expect to give a command, bam, and tomorrow you don't want it to repeat itself. Of course, we're humans. You know how many instructions she's taking? She has a boss. People are not perfect, actually. Now, that is where you begin to bring my bad side. Okay, bring what I don't like. She will bring what she doesn't like. It becomes what we don't like.
You emphasize on being a married man. Yes. Now, these are my parents.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Classified Labs podcast. I've kept people on the suspense, and I sent a shot a couple of months ago, and I told you guys that I was going to come and I will have guests here, and we'll talk about why marriages fail. So, you see, why this topic has become important is because divorce has been something that we've known it was something like was limited to the Western world. But today, divorce has become an African thing. Worst of all, it has become a Nigerian thing. And how is that bad for us? It has left a lot of angry people on the street. And you know what happens if you have to be meeting angry men on the street? It's like you are mingling with mad people in town. And what has it done to our children? It has left our children in broken homes. Our children, like, we have lost our cultural values, like the values we have as Africans, as Nigerians, we've lost them. So considering the fact that this has become a very serious menace to the society, I thought it wise to invite our guest here so that they can help us dissect and talk about these things. And I didn't want to say I want to go and get a marriage counselor or a pastor or an imam to talk to you. No. I wanted, when a pastor is talking, you say, pastor is preaching, you say, right on, pastor. If an imam is talking, you say, you understand? So, and when a marriage counselor is talking, you say, oh, that's what he learned in school. So, but today, I just brought two simple people to the studio. To my right is Mr. Isaac Pinas. He has been married for 3 years. You will say, oh, is it just 3 years? Marriage counselor would have been 10 years. No, it doesn't have to be 10 years. Marriages have broken up and on the night of the wedding. Marriages have broken up after a week, after a month, after a few months, after just a year. So if he has been able to sustain marriage for the next 3 years to this extent, then there must be something he's been doing. Why have they not divorced from year one? That means there is something he is doing to maintain marriage. So he's going to be discussing here with us today on why marriages fail. By the way, he's going to be talking to us from a point of experience in that he is in marriage currently at the moment. So to my left, I have Miss Joyce. Miss Joyce has been single all her life. I didn't say it. She said it. All of us here, we heard it. She's been single all her life. So she's going to be talking to us from what we'll call a speculative view, because she's not been married. So, but she will tell us why marriages fail. Probably, I don't know why she's yet married. She's not yet married, I mean. Probably she's just thinking, should I do this? Should I not do this? So she will tell us those things that she feels are behind why she is doubting. Maybe sometimes you feel like, oh, I will do it. Sometimes you feel like, is it not better we just leave this thing? Miss Joyce.
Yes, please.
Have you been having such contemplations?
I think I have, yeah.
Okay, so sometimes you feel like, oh, you should marry, and sometimes you feel like you should not.
Yeah, not do the other one.
Okay, okay. That means I'm not just, I'm speaking her mind. So, Mr. Isaac, thank you for honoring this invitation to be on the show. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, sir.
Miss Joyce, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, we are going to get right on it. We have a few questions we are going to be answering. By the way, our topic is, why do marriages fail? So, first of all, we are going to be looking at the first question, which is, what is marriage and what is not marriage? So my both guests here, Mr. Isaac is married, so he's going to tell us what is married, as in he is in marriage. And then he will tell us what he knows is not marriage, because not everything people are practicing today is marriage. So we have to get that clear here. And Miss Joy will also tell us on her own part what she knows to be marriage and what she knows not to be marriage. So, Mr. Isaac, I will start with you. Please answer the question for us. What is marriage and what is not marriage? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity to be in your podcast to share some light in these trending things of divorce and the rest of them and the rest of looking at what's happening in the society. But to answer your question, I wrote something. I said marriage is a legal union between two individuals. First of all, marriage is a legal union. A marriage involves consent of both parties and a third party. That is where we begin to talk about the bride price, or you want to do the Western one, you want to go to the church and the rest of them. But in Africa, typically, once the bride price is paid, it means it's a legal union. It's been identified by everyone. It's been recognized all over. So I said that marriage is a legal union between two individuals. Typically involve emotions, physical, financial, and social commitment. There can never be a marriage without emotions involved. Of course, the feelings, we all know, okay, I have feelings for one another. The physical, of course, what you are seeing. You can't go and marry a monkey now. Yeah, you have to marry someone that you see, someone that you can admire at every given point in time, and someone that is financial, both parties. Someone that is financially stable to take care of the house, whether you are into farming, whatever you're doing, something that will keep it going, that will keep the marriage going, and then social commitment. So these are some of the factors that contribute to what is recognized as marriage. Outside this, what we have is the unmarriage. That is, society, a lot of things have gone wrong.
Yeah.
These days we have boyfriend staying with his girlfriend for a long period of time, girlfriend staying with, and the rest of them. Those is when we're in university, we saw some of those things, some of those practices. And
we call it here Abuja marriage.
Thank you very much. That's what I got to understand, that it's Abuja marriage. You pack and come. They were tired, These are not legal means, because if you check some of this a union, it's most time doesn't end well. There's always a place of, okay, after all I've done for you and the rest of them. So in marriage, what binds you together is the legal consent of both parties. That is why if you look at the white wedding in church, they ask you, do you take this? You make a vow, you exchange vow. It's from tradition, it's the same thing. You exchange vows. That means it's your own consent first, right? But anything that does not involve consent, it means can't be called marriage.
Okay. Thank you very much for that point of view. One key thing he said, it must be legal. Yes, legal. Miss Joyce, can you tell us what is marriage and what is not marriage according to you?
Well, for me, marriage is the coming together or the joining together of two people by a court or a pastor with the consent of both families and few witnesses. And what is not marriage for me is relationship is not marriage. Getting pregnant for a man is not marriage. Renting a house or paying a girl's school fees is not marriage. So anything outside the what we believe to be marriage is not marriage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't tell us the traditional part. Does it mean if the judge does it in court and the pastor does it in church, do we have a place for tradition?
But it depends on where they want their blessings or where they want their consent from. If they want it from a church or a court or just few gathering of families, it's still their whatever they believe in.
It's still their choice.
Fine, yeah, as long as.
But once it's legally recognized with witnesses, I believe this legality always has to do with witnesses.
Yes.
Yeah,
so who was the witness?
Witnesses and consent, very
As a matter
important.
of fact, for marriage to be solid, there must be a bride price paid.
Okay, very important.
For a union to be called marriage, there must be something that a man pays on the woman. It's recognized as marriage. But once that is not done, anything else, if you have 20 children together, once that process is not done, that's why we have blessing of marriage. Some people can like the Abuja marriage, before you start producing children and the rest of them. Then for you to be recognized as married people, you have to go back and go and do what is called the blessing of marriage. So there must, and the blessing of marriage means that you have gone and paid something
price.
on her. That makes you that sometimes give men some sense of belonging. Okay, she's mine, and it gives the woman to believe that okay, he's
He paid
mine. He
something
paid
on me.
something over me. So that's what marriage should be. That's the emphasis about marriage.
Well, women want to believe that we're not an item to be purchased. For me, I think consent does it all. As long as there's a consent between both parties and both families, prayers rendered. That's cool
So
for
what you're
us.
saying is that even if a bride price is not paid, once
But
there's consent,
Well, it depends on how deep the man's pocket is. So, what if you're not capable? What if you're not financially stable? Does that
but you
mean
know
you
what we
cannot
know in
get
Africa,
married?
there's always a token. What we know in Africa, there's always a token.
It depends on whatever the families are.
That's
Like
why
there are traditions that can take as little as 1,000 naira
yes.
for bride price.
My tradition too can take as low as when my two sisters were getting married, I knew how much my father collected as a bride price. It's
But some
nothing.
families can decide not to take anything.
Yes, they will
Yeah,
return
so
it back to you.
Yeah, it all depends on.
As a
It
matter of
boils
fact,
down
Yeah, I think it varies across
As
culture.
a matter of fact, if you look at the
Exactly.
African context of bride price, most times what the man pays and what comes out to the man is two different things. For example, when I was getting married, I paid the bride price, I paid everything.
Mhm.
But when my wife was coming to my house, there's this thing they call I can't remember the English name, but they call it gara. When a woman is
Okay.
going to when she's going to her husband's house,
Mm.
her sisters, her aunties, they buy a lot of household material.
Yeah.
So when they were bringing it,
Mm.
I saw the worth of more than what I give out. Do you understand? So it
Mm.
has, if some family has a way of making it come back
Like
to
making
you,
it come back
to
you.
you. Yeah. So it's more like the
Aye.
woman just
Yeah.
came.
I like that. I like that
Like
kind
an
of
exchange.
Yeah, like an exchange. Thank you very much.
I like that kind of
As a matter of fact, there is
Oh
one
wow.
one tribe around the Adama axis where if they come together, as a matter of fact, the woman comes with everything, almost everything,
Mm.
cushion and everything. They furnish your house for you. They furnish it for you. And if you check what is being brought to you and what you have paid, you notice that oh wow.
Now, do you know what I'm imagining as you're saying this? Like that tradition, that culture you're talking about in Adamawa. Now, if a man decides to go and just get this woman pregnant and just takes her home, he's on a losing end.
Of course, you are.
Because nobody will take anything to
Nobody,
him.
nobody,
Aye.
nobody recognize that kind of thing. Nobody.
So that is not marriage.
That's not marriage.
It's not marriage. At all.
Marriage places people in the place of responsibilities. Because for you to be able to afford to pay, it means you are responsible enough.
Yeah.
So it makes put men most times on responsibility. Because when you don't pay, it means you're irresponsible. As a matter of fact, when I was trying to get married, particularly the bride price, aside all the other things I asked, particularly the bride price, my father made sure that I paid it myself. I raised that money myself and brought it. He didn't in any way. The only thing I did was when I came and handed it over to him and he did the payment, but it was my own money.
Unlike my culture, it's a pride for my father to pay my wife's bride price.
The culture varies.
Well,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's how we're African.
Yeah.
Cultures vary. But there should be something that is
That is paid, yeah. But I understand the part of your father making sure you paid it yourself. So that you have a sense of responsibility. I paid for this woman. Every other thing you could have been helped with, but for the bride price, you
Sure.
paid.
actually.
Thank you very much. I think we have done justice to this particular question of what is marriage and what is not marriage. I think we have established what makes it legal and what makes it illegal. And we've said if it is illegal, then it's not marriage. So we are going to go straight to our next question. And the next question is, when we talk of marriage, there are a lot of skeptical views on it. There have been a lot of debate on when to marry and when not to marry. Some people they base it on age, some people base it on maturity, and some people base it on probably financial income. But we are going to trash it here to let's know, like Miss Joyce, I will go with you first this time around. Like, when is the right time to get married?
But is there anything like the right time to be married? Well, if at all there is, then it should be when you're of age, let's say from 18 above, and yeah, when you're of age and yeah, you're physically and mentally or financially ready, yeah, you can decide to be married. Aside that, if you're a juvenile, then there's no point getting married. You shouldn't even think of it. Yeah.
Sure. So what you're saying is that when you are of age, so you mean a man of 18 is free to get married?
Yeah, you're free to get married. At least you can make some certain decisions for yourself.
Can you marry a man of 18?
I can't. I am above 18, so.
Okay, so that means age is important for you when it comes to marriage.
Well, for me, yes, and as a Nigerian, age is very important. But Anything can happen, love they say.
Okay. So that means you can still fall in love with a guy of
I can fall
18.
in love with a younger person, but 18, I'm not sure.
But
I'm
you
not
know,
sure.
there are people who are 18 and are so matured.
I don't care how mature you are, but
But once it's 18, you can't do it.
yeah, I think so.
Thank you very much for your input on that. Mr. Isaac. So, you now, I don't know what was even the inspiration. What got you inspired? What told you that this is time to get married?
Okay. What actually inspired me to get married was I felt I'm ready.
I
I just felt I'm ready. And isn't that I always say over time that when it comes to in the relationship context, the person who calls the shot for marriage is the man.
Mhm.
A woman can't call shots for marriage. You can't just wake up and say let's marry. The man will just be, start dodging you or something.
Yeah,
But
looks
when
like
the
they're
man
putting him
wants
under
to marry,
pressure.
he goes all out to marry. So when as a matter of fact, when I dated my wife for 12 years, yeah, 12 years, to 2010 or so, and we got married 2021. We got married. So if you calculate that is almost 12 years or so. We got married. So one of the things that happened is that I never spoke to her about marriage or anything. As a matter of fact, she had a clique of friends, they're all married. All of them were married and they were doing well.
Mm.
And then she was the only single person and the rest of them. And then there was no point in time where I had to I had to just keep quiet and okay, I kept observing her and the rest of them, her body languages and the rest. Of course, she's a woman. It's expected. You understand? It's
Mm.
expected. And then she was almost going to her 30s and the rest of them. Even when I told her, I said, babe, Alpha, I want us to get married. She was not shocked. This guy. I said, go and tell your parents I'm coming with my family. I told her, go and tell them I'm coming on at the 1st of August. That's
Mm.
2020. She was like, what? I was supposed to get married 2020.
You were that serious?
I was that serious. So when she's talking about age, well, I wish I got married earlier than I am now. Because one of the things I tell people is that if you're getting married, don't just consider yourself, consider the children that God will bless you with. If God doesn't bless you, it's fine. When God bless you, because you can imagine that you're getting married at the age of 40
Mm.
as a man. You're reaching 50, your first child is 10 years. That's if God blesses you immediately in your marriage.
Yeah, marriage.
Do you understand?
Mm.
So when we're talking about age plays a big role, but sometimes I always tell people that when it comes to marriage, you have to be first thing about marriage that you have to be emotionally ready.
Okay.
You have to be physically ready. You have to be psychologically ready, mentally, all otherwise, and financially ready. These four things must be in place for you to decide to get married because marriage comes with a lot of responsibilities. For example, for women, there's what immediately after birth is what they call postpartum depression.
Okay.
Most women, some of are going through that process, not because people are not there, but because you now have a child. You know, you're struggling to recover yourself. Baby is crying, husband is demanding. A lot of things. So if that is not properly managed, if you don't have the emotions to handle those things, the physical strength to handle those things, you will crash out of marriage. You'll be frustrated. You'll be frustrated. So I always advise that for people to get married, one of the good age I always recommend for the men, the gentlemen, is 25 years. I wish, and I'm still saying, I wish I got married at 25. There's this thing that scares people about marriage. Oh, how will I make it? And I remember the Holy Book says that he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from God. A lot of my peers that I got married to, and a lot of them that are not still married, they look at it as if I did it just. Because all of a sudden my life just transformed. I just changed. Everything just changed. One of my friends asked me, my guy, you do Yahoo Yahoo. I said, I don't do Yahoo Yahoo. It's the blessing of marriage. That is when you marry the right person. So when it comes to age, I always recommend that men get married at age of 25 upward. You could start thinking of getting married.
Okay.
Then for the girls, I think when you're 23, you're already getting. Now, what happens is that let me tell you something that most people have not recognized, that the generation has changed now. That a girl of 10, 12 is already experiencing menstruation.
Mm.
And already by the arrival of menstruation, it means that she could conceive. and give birth. Do you understand? I'm not saying that at 12 she can give birth, right? But I'm saying that at that age, eggs is produced already consistently. And then this eggs in women has a limited time that it reaches to a point, it stops coming, so it's called menopause. It doesn't come anymore. But for men, till the day you are called home, you keep producing the spermatozoa and the rest of them. So I also advise men. And then another part of it is that when you marry early, you tend to grow with your children. Unfortunately, some of us didn't take the decisions and the rest of them. But having said that, there's something that this generation is afraid of, which is financial. And I always tell men, I said, you mustn't have all the money in this life before you get married. One of the things you should do is that don't get married to a lazy woman.
Okay.
Marry a woman who is ready to grow with you. Marry a woman who believes every man has a dream. Every man has a dream. Marry a woman that both your dreams are coming together. You can't go, for example, you can't be a bike rider. Then you want to go and marry a banker. There'll be problem. Do you understand? Because in terms of status quo, your status is different. I know they'll say love and the rest of them, my brother. It will reach a time she will not be proud to call you her husband. Okay, you are a rich man, a wealthy man, and then maybe you want to go and pick a girl all of a sudden from nowhere to. I know that society have said, okay, train a woman, but I always say that marry someone that will grow to your future, that will help you. So when it comes to when it comes to abstract issue of age and emotion, so let's talk about mental thinking. Marriage has a lot to do with thinking. You're calculating, and if you're not sensitive to that, there'll be problem. Now let me break it down this way. Men reason with logics. Women reason with emotion.
Okay.
For example, you're sitting in a man and a woman all go to work and come back. If the woman come back and you ask her, my dear, how's work today? She will tell you everything that happened. From a taxi man that insulted her, to the tomatoes woman that sells rubbish in the market, to her boss that didn't appreciate her effort, and the rest of them. She will want to narrate everything. But ask them, how was your day? Fine.
Probably there is more to that.
And
there's more to that. Fine.
So if you don't have that mental energy to be able to understand that, okay, this is how this person operates, this is how this person, you have a problem. You see women say, my husband doesn't like talking. Did you create the right atmosphere? There's something I always tell my wife. I said, be sensitive to when this and this should be discussed. I can't just come back from home and then babe, because I finished, I will get mad. I'm human. Do you understand? She can't just come back and say, babe, how far there's no food in the kitchen now? This one, of course, she will flare up. She'll get frustrated. So we must be sensitive enough to understand that at this point in time, actually begin this issue. Okay, both of you go to work and come back, and then in the night already you're expecting that okay, something's going to happen in the night, but you didn't check out okay what happened in the day, what really transpired. I always tell people that if you want to enjoy your wife, the process starts in the morning.
How did they start?
How did they start? You must have to be all lovey. Not that that day is a different loving. Do you understand? But you must be in constant check. For example, she leaves the house. If she's using public transport, you give her 1 hour. You call her. How far have you reached the office? You check up on her. It makes women feel sense of belonging. But you can imagine that a woman goes out completely from morning till evening. There was no call from her husband. Nothing. And then she comes back to the man, and then the night you're married.
Just wants to.
There'll be problem.
Doesn't work, right?
So that's another aspect of marriage that I always say that you must be mentally ready.
Go for it
before you begin to think about marriage. Then the age factor. Well, a lot of people have said a lot of things about age, but the general age we have, except now that things are beginning to turn upside down, they say the general age to marry for maturity is 18, which means that's the standard 18. But these days, before 18, people have explored a lot of things. A lot of these our youth have explored a lot of things before even 18. As much of a girl, I've seen a girl of 16 that said she had about is it 14 boyfriends? She said she had. So I was wondering, at what point, how were you changing the boyfriend that you had those kind of relationship at age of 16? So one of the things I'll talk about age is the fact that they say age is a number, but for me, I don't look at age. I look at maturity. How mature is the person?
I think I also look at that.
How mature is the person? How does the person think? Do you understand? Did the person run from problem or the person is ready to face problem. Because whether you like it or not, marriage comes with problem. It comes with responsibilities. It comes with a lot of challenge. Okay, what happens when both of you are not working? What do you do? What next? Will you now come and sit down? I always tell my wife, I say, Kai, what happens if I'm sacked today from office? How do you survive? You know, and the rest of them. So some of the time you put yourself through those processes that, okay, what if this happen? What if that happen? What if that happen? That way, you'll be able to know the kind of person you want to spend your life with. I have a friend who's getting married, and he pranked his wife. He said he saw, maybe when he sees this podcast, I know he'll be laughing at me. He said he told her that he had 4 million naira in his account. Someone just sent him 4 million naira in his account, you know, and they were not really they were not having money to do a lot of things for the marriage, for the wedding rather. So she kept pestering him, you know, to go and move the money. And he told her that the money is over 1 year. Nobody has claimed the money for over 1 year. So that he told the bank to hold the money and the rest of them. You get, and the rest of them. So he kept pranking up and down. Now, when she opened up and told me the pain and what she was going to say, how can it be suffering and this kind of money is in the account and the rest of them? And I asked her one question. I said, what do you want that money to be used for? She said, I just want him to open a business. I want him to do this and this with the money. I'm not saying remove the money and spend on me. I'm saying remove the money and do this, this, and this. Wow. So I go back to him and said, young man, this woman is complaining about this, this, and this. And he said, he now opened up to that. Let me be sincere. He was just pranking her to see the kind of wife he's going to get married to. Should in case things begin to turn rosy, what happened? And I told him, okay, this is her response. He said, yes. She has told him this is what she wanted to do. And we concluded that she's a good woman. But normally she'll say, the wedding gown now, collect the money, let's buy wedding gown, collect the money now, let's go and let's go and buy a big hall, collect a lot of things, let's go and let's rent. So, do you understand? What the woman was bringing was not for us to spend, was to do an investment that will return back to the family. So, of course, that kind of person, you want to marry a kind of person. So, how matured is the person you're getting married to? How does their reasoning? Because
making.
Let me round up by saying this. Before marriage, there are 3 steps that we're always missing. I don't always call it a pyramid. You know, pyramid is like this now, an angle. There's a first point of contact, first point you pass apart, right? Something brings you together. That thing that brings you together is called friendship. Friendship. Second thing, from friendship, it grows to relationship. Relationship grows to courtship. Courtship goes to marriage. But these days, we only do relationship and marriage.
We don't start with friendship.
We don't start with friendship. And I tell people say, so what do you mean by when you say friendship? Friendship is a stage where you get to know yourselves. Okay, I like this girl. Okay, I think I'm going to have feelings for her. And then friendship is developing. Do you understand? You're getting familiar with yourself and the rest of them. You're getting familiar. Okay, oh, she likes blue color. Blue is her color. Okay, he likes wearing suits. No, okay, she likes wearing gown. Oh, he likes going out. He's the party kind of person. I'm not. That's friendship. Now, let me tell you one of the things. If you have a friend, you have a male friend now here, and you have your relationship here, I can tell you that what your male friend knows about you. You know why your male friend knows about you? Because she's not judgmental.
Yes.
Because if you tell your girlfriend, she might be able to judge you. So I always advise people that operate at the point of relationship first. Know a lot of things about the person before you decide to date. Don't go and, okay, you're in a relationship, a friendship, you don't know that the person smokes. You discover some of give yourself time. You know, keep roving, the love is still growing and the rest of them. When you now discover that you can move the relationship with the person, you can tolerate people are not perfect actually. So when you realize that I can grow through a process with this person, you now move to relationship. Now, what is relationship? It's a process, it's just like fiction. Bringing 2 things together to move. Relationship. You are sailing. Now that is where you begin to bring my bad side. Okay, bring what I don't like. She will bring what she doesn't like. It becomes what we don't like. Okay. Then she will bring what I like. You bring what you like. Begins
what we like.
What we like.
That's where the oneness now comes in.
That is where you are now already building yourself, so that you can have a smooth journey. So that you know that, oh, my wife doesn't like me wearing t-shirts, right? I love wearing t-shirt, but because she doesn't like it, so that's where a place of sacrifice begin to come in, begin to adjust. Now, when you're able to achieve that, then you grow into courtship.
Where so it's from relationship to courtship.
Courtship, where you begin to think about, I think it's high time we get married. Okay, we want to get married. Okay, how do we sustain our marriage? What are those things that we need to do? How do you control our finance in our marriage? For example, in my house, my wife controls the finance. I'm very bad with finance. You can't even see me with cash. I'm very bad with money. I have poor money management. My wife is very good at managing money. So what I do most times when I just have money, I just send it to her. Pam. When I need it, I will now. As a matter of fact, I'm comfortable to my wife. I'll tell her, babe, if I need this money, you should not look at me. I'll have to explain. But I don't ask people money. What do you need? Do I need it for? It depends on the sum of the money I'm asking for. Do you understand? Because I've noticed that I'm bad with money. She's good with the money. So why would I be dragging what God has given her with what? Now, when it comes to spending, thinking of a lot of things, I do better than she does. There's sometimes my wife wants to do something. Investing. My wife wants to do something, she'll run back to me and say, if what do you think about this? And I'll just quickly, I'm kind of person that have solution to sharp solution. I can just think something and just before you know I'll provide solution for it for the next minute. I'm someone like that. So she knows me. So she doesn't compete with that. So at the point of courtship, you'll be able to know my wife's strengths, or rather my girlfriend's strength and my boyfriend's strength. You'll be able to know where can you help and where can then you will now move to getting married. In courtship, you discuss about number of children you want to give birth to, how you want to train your children, how you want to do a vacation. Because if you don't talk about these things, when children comes, there's something I read something. They said the first 10 years of marriage is called testing process. If your marriage does not succeed 10 years, you don't have right to start shouting that you have a successful marriage.
Just like in business, they say you need 5 years to say that your business will stand or not.
Yes. Because at that point, you see different challenges, you see child. You know, one of the things I was scared of in marriage, I told my wife, I said, I don't want you to come and love my baby more than me. You know, I kept repeating that thing on her ear. And effortlessly, this woman has adjusted it. There was no time from the day when she gave birth to my daughter to this very point I'm talking, I ever felt neglected by my wife. There was no time. As a matter of fact, sometimes I feel as if she's even choking me. Because she's always around me. I didn't feel the fact that she's running around to the baby and the rest of them. You get? Yeah. So, how do we achieve that? It's because we're able to discuss it in courtship. Because in the process of courtship, you discuss about a lot of things. You discuss about your spiritual life. Which church do you want to go to? Which church will your children go to? What kind of life do you want for yourself? Because some of these things, that's why I said that this generation, why we have a lot of divorces before we come to that, is the fact that we skipped processes. And there's no how you skip process and get results. You just be living quack. It's a simple phenomenon. It's just like you give birth to a child and then expect the child to start running. It doesn't work that way. The child will fall down. You can't carry a small baby and say, stand up. Will this baby stand? Will the baby stand? No, the baby can't stand. There's a process to everything. But we are always wanting to jump processes. Of course, when you jump, what do you expect? You fall now. You can't jump and stand, you fall. You definitely have fallen. So those are some of the things I feel I should share when it comes to age marriage.
Thank you so much. You've done justice to this question. Okay, Ms. Joyce, do you want to add something to, like, the question we are trashing right now is, what is the time to get married? Like, while he was talking, so was there something you remembered you felt you would have want to add to it?
I don't think I have. I think I'm a person of few words. I just hit the nail on the head, and that's it. As long as you're mentally
SE writers.
No, don't take it that way. As long as you are mentally, physically, and financially ready, you can just get married.
Mentally, physically, and financially ready.
Yeah. The money cannot be overemphasized when it comes to relationship or marriage, even in the society. So you must have money. If you like that man, you like that woman, please have something in your account.
Is it something in your account or have something sustainable?
In your account.
Anywhere. In your account.
Well, let's use the word be productive.
Because you may not have something in your account, but you have something upstairs.
Do you know that these days
you can have something upstairs and still not have something in your account? I want to emphasize on, please have something somewhere.
Can I give you one advice for free? Like when it comes to marriage and finances, right? One of the things in marriage is financing marriage is the fact that you should have savings.
Okay.
Do you understand? So if you neglect everything at the point of, okay, no water, pam, let me buy water, pam. For example, I buy water in my house.
Okay.
I buy the water, the semester water, I buy it to my house. So I have containers and I watch them as they are going. Immediately we're having either the last at the mountain or second last, I go to buy. Do you understand? So everything I've made it, or we've made it, that everything before it finish is provided for. Do you understand? So it has helped us.
So that it's not an emergency.
For example, now my wife buys gas in the house. Do you understand? Before there are a few times that she couldn't, I did. Do you understand? But we know that okay when it comes to gas. So what I do that I time the gas. The gas takes us about 1 month, 2 weeks. Approximately 1 month, 2 weeks. The gas takes us. So once we get to 1 month, and I start telling her, "Babe, how far now? You don't save for your gas." Do you understand? As a way of so that she doesn't meet her unprepared. As much as I said the answer, I said, "Babe, how far now? Gas." So she started laughing. You know, so I said, "Gas don't finish. Gas, start preparing for gas. Save for your gas." I do the DSTV subscription. I just fishing tomorrow.
Sorry to cut
So
you
you
short.
plan.
I think these are one of the reasons why we keep having issues in our homes, because we have this mentality that the men are supposed to do this and the men are supposed to do this. If you notice there's something missing in the house, please fix it. You
Well-
don't have to wait for someone to do. Okay, I watched the video of someone saying that he has been paying the children's school fees for as long as he can remember, and the wife has never done that in a while, like for ever since they got married. And now that the man is not financially capable, there's an issue in the house because this woman is so used to not paying school fees. So it's not a big deal for her. Do you understand? But if there's a room for what is it called? Is it discussion, or there's this agreement or understanding? You don't have to. If there's anything, just pay for
And
More
then
it.
like mutual
Let me tell you
responsibility.
something.
Exactly.
Let me tell you something. Human beings generally become very manipulative. Let's say I'm going to your school of thoughts. When you finish, you buy it, right? Something can finish in my eyes. I ignore it and allow and want my wife to do it. Or something can finish in my wife's arm and she'll ignore it because she feels that I should do it. Now this is where we get to see people say, if I cannot do it, why won't you do it now?
Now that I think
That's where
that's
issues begin to
that's
grow.
because you have not been supportive. Like you have not been doing it. So this other person is trying to
My dear.
to see if without him you can come in. But if it's something that you guys are used to in the house, which one is I'm
Well,
waiting for this to
I could
finish so
understand when
that
you're talking like that. I could understand, but I am married, and I'm not saying that my formula is the final formula. Do you understand, right?
Why do I feel attacked by that smile?
No,
I'm not feeling oppressed already. You see, where this
Oh
man
my
is going
goodness.
now is that see, you have to mellow down for him.
I am not going
This
to mellow down
he's
because
telling,
he's
he's telling
married.
you
No.
from experience.
I'm telling you that I'm
I'm
married.
speaking from my
I'm
experience
not
as
saying
well.
I'm not saying that my formula is the best formula, right?
Mm.
I'm just sharing, right?
And,
So you
different
could choose
things-
to work with it. You could choose.
But
Not too much are the same.
if I come in between, do you know what I want to say? I got that her point of everybody. Just at any point that something is lacking, pick it up and do it. I got that her point. Then when you countered it, I still got it. As good as it is, I wanted to, you are speaking from a marriage perspective.
Okay.
Probably that has not even worked for you. But now I want to check from maybe a casual perspective. Have you stayed in a room with a friend before?
Yes, I have.
Now, have you experienced where you are expecting your friend?
Of course.
Let's say, like I've heard stories of gas finish. Every time when gas finish, she's expecting me to feel it.
Exactly. Now, this boils down to what I said previously.
Eh.
Like, if the both of you are responsible enough, you know where to come in. Like, if I'm doing this, I don't have to wait for Esther to do that. Why? Because Esther is doing that and I'm doing this. So there's no issues in the house.
But see, did you know what I think?
Now, there's going to be an issue if I'm always buying water and Esther is not buying water. But if I'm buying
You
water
see?
and Esther is paying the rent or doing something, I cannot expect anything.
Of course,
That's why it's good to delegate.
You're already delegating.
That's why it's good to delegate, I think.
I'm not saying that. Please get me right.
See,
I'm
that's
not
what
saying
I
that
said,
you're sharing it 50-50.
I said I cannot remember
It's kind of
in my
50-50.
house. I cannot remember seeing my dad saying, "Okay, I'll buy water," and my mom
Are you
you buy this.
Are you about they are setting themselves inside the room?
My parents are as plain as anything.
Or, you know,
See, this man has catch you somewhere.
You
No,
cannot.
no.
See,
My parents are
there's
plain, and
always-
you cannot tell me
You
that
mean that your dad and mom
anything.
does not have a privacy?
Yeah.
Like they don't have when.
We're not talking about privacy now.
No, like privacy
You know what happens?
discussion
You know what
agreements.
they have? They talk about
I
in the
am
house.
telling you, these are my parents.
Okay.
Okay.
These
Right.
are my parents.
She's
You
talking about her
emphasize on
parents.
being a married man.
Yes.
Now these are my
She's talking
parents,
about her
right?
parents.
Fine.
Yeah. So
Fine.
you
Mr.
start.
Isaac, listen. She's talking about her parents.
Fine,
It's
fine.
her parents.
So but you still not answer my question.
Okay.
I asked you, do you sleep with your parents in the same bed?
Of course I don't.
So do you know what they discuss before they sleep?
What they discuss in bed is
Yes.
none of my business.
So-
I want to believe they deserve some privacy in bed.
It's the result of
But
what
if there's anything outside
It's the
that,
result of
Oga,
what happened.
I am part of it.
No.
I am part of
Let me
it.
tell you something that's happened over time. Over time, right? They've made men look as if, okay, they're the provider and the rest of them. And men keep hustling, keep bringing. And at the end of the day, the men crash and go. Why? Because a lot of pressure is on them. They're supposed to provide, school fees, rent, this one. Do you understand? So, when you begin to discuss some of these things, we're not saying that the man should take. I can't share 50-50 responsibility with my wife. No. That makes me an irresponsible man.
Yeah.
I can't share 50-50 with my wife.
Mm.
Even if, let's say my wife is giving any more than me, I still can't share 50-50 with her. We have a place of understanding where, okay, this is how much I earn. This is what it can. You know that one of the mistakes we do in marriage is that most of the spouses don't know how much their husbands or their wife earns. That's one of the deadliest things in financial when it comes to marriage.
They are not transparent.
Why? Because I can be earning 50,000 naira, and my wife thinks I'm earning 100,000 because she's not aware of it. And my wife begins to place demand of 60,000 naira.
I think he's talking about why marriages fail already. He's already talking about why we miss it. So I think let's go to the third question already. And the third question now is, we have established what marriage is and what marriage is not. It's established when we think is the right time to get married and when it's not the right time to get married. The question now is, why do marriages fail? But if we know so well, because from what we've sat here, we've known so well, I think our audience would have been like, wow. But if we know so well, then why do marriages fail? Who will I start with now?
Well, of course, we all know I am not married, but but talking from a place of assumption, my number one deal breaker would be physical abuse.
So you think physical abuse is one reason why marriages fail?
Yeah, physical abuse, inconsistency, like whatever you're doing in a relationship, please sustain it even after marriage. If you're fond of buying pepper soup for your girlfriend every night when you're asking her out while in a relationship, please keep providing that pepper soup even in marriage. You cannot start something and you stop halfway. Be consistent. And the third one would be the absence of compliment. These men fail to compliment us. They fail to
I had a
compliment.
girlfriend, she always tell me that you are not noticing me. I've told
They
you,
fail to
noticing me.
compliment
It's also
their
going to
women
laugh
in
at
the
me after this
house.
podcast.
No, I
She'll
think
say, be noticing me, you don't notice me.
exactly.
Is
No,
that so
funny enough,
important?
this men, yes, it's very important for we women. Like this men, funny enough, these men do not compliment their women in the house, but you find them on social media, on Facebook, complimenting a girl, a teenager with just handkerchief and socks, and they're busy shouting wow, 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 like siren. And their wives, their women are in the house. Their women are in the house, well dressed, looking all sexy.
Nobody tells them anything.
Looking all demure for their men, and these men are not doing anything. Like they're not saying anything. Okay.
Mr. Isaac, you sound wow like siren on Facebook.
It's not going to test it.
Yeah, so just go on.
Okay.
And yeah, after childbirth for the women, I would say we, or should I say we? Or these women with children feel they're no longer sexy, like they're not beautiful, they have this big belly, they've added weight, they're not physically appealing as they used to be. That reassurance from their partner goes a long way. Goes a long way. Keep telling women, keep telling them, oh, you look sexy, you're beautiful the way you are. This is a proof of so and so. You're beautiful. That's it. Compliment your women, and please provide.
Stop pointing to me as if I'm married. Well, Mr. Isaac, she's talking to you. Compliment your woman.
This stray bullet is just going up and down, hitting almost everybody here. Okay, I think I'll just stop here for now.
Okay, so from what you have said, if I'll have a recap, you said physical abuse, inconsistencies.
Physical abuse, like this men just get irritated over little thing. And men like that, men who beat their women in the house, hardly fight outside.
And there are women who beat their men.
Okay.
Yes.
If you want to
There are
go to
women.
that
No, no,
side,
no.
we are going to extend this thing. I think we end up sleeping here.
Okay, fine. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, but we all consider men to be physically stronger than women, right? So I'll just say men beat their women.
What of the women that beat their men
I
with
don't
their
know about
mouths?
that one, but
We
here,
like with their mouths.
okay, that one is still I think it's oral abuse, or what they call it. Yeah, it's emotional
Beating that
abuse.
beating. In fact, like one for mouth, say they pin pass. Let's go slide this. Think about your life. A woman can tell you that. In fact, I don't even know why I married you. So imagine that your wife wakes up one day and tell you that she doesn't know why she married you. Let me hand this to you. Why do marriages fail?
Well,
Please hand it over to me.
well, there are a couple of things. I understand what she's saying. Let me just pick the last one she said. In my analysis, abuse is actually the last. Because if you keep 10 marriages, maybe 3 are the ones that are having violence aside, physical abuse, right? If you keep, it's not even married. Most marriages don't have that beating.
You have a basis for this information.
Yes.
Like you have a reference.
Yes, I have a reference. As I said, if you keep 10 people, right? If you interview 10 couples, sincerely, they can be open to you, right?
What I'm asking is that, has this been proven in any form of research check?
Well, I don't know. I've not really gone through this. I'm just analyzing
just
now.
Assumption.
Yes, based on assumptions that
if we keep 10,
if you keep 10
if we keep 10 marriages,
yes,
only 3 out of 10
can boast of the physical
abuse.
Can boast of
physical abuse. Physical. There are different forms of abuse. Right? Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm talking particularly about physical abuse because there are different forms of abuses.
Okay.
There are emotional abuse
Yeah.
and the rest of them. So I'm talking about physical abuse. If you keep it number 10, I will just 3. And that 3, 2 men have 2% inside, and women have 1%. It's rare for you to hear a woman that is
abusing a man.
But there are issues. And tomorrow there is a woman that go ahead to bring pour hot water on the men. You understand, and the rest of them. So for me, what I assume one of the problem about female marriage, one is communication issues. That was my first.
Okay.
Communication issues.
Before we continue, hold on. Was there a point you felt like me and your wife are not communicating as supposed?
Yes, there was.
Okay.
Oh, there was a person. I had a particular challenge at a particular time, and I felt I could navigate it by myself. So I needed privacy. To the point I told my wife, said, please, I need privacy. She picked offense. But I was going through a lot. And I was not communicating. Then I got to a point one day and I said, I saw her attitude the first 2 days. She was struck. My wife is someone that cannot just sit in the parlor and just be on her own. It's not true. She will always be by my side. She can't just sit in the parlor. But those times I could see her struggling to press her phone, and I could see her getting lonely already. So one of the days I called her, said, babe, I didn't allow it last, I think for about 2 days or so. I called her, said, babe, sorry, I had to speak to you the other day. I'm very sorry that she said, no, babe, I'm okay. Well, I'm going to adjust my own space. So I said, no.
That was a bad learning.
Do you understand? And I said, this is what I
would have led the wrong way.
And I said, this is what I was going through. And I said, I didn't get to share. I just placed a call. And everything was settled.
Wow.
So you can imagine that if I had kept bottling up and I didn't communicate, a lot of problem in marriages, sir, is because there's improper communication. Do you know that there are women that are not very satisfied by their husband, they don't talk?
That's very bad.
Let's look at what happened to the Guinea man. Check some of the response of these women. Their husbands were never available. Check some of these women, they are high class, they have money, for God's sake. His money was not their problem. As a matter of fact, a woman will love you without money. But if you, I tell people that, if you even a woman have a heart of stone, if you show her love, you care for her, you listen to her, you are available for her, forget it.
To melt that stone.
Forget it. So the first thing that makes most marriages fail is lack of proper communication. For example, now this is a bottle of water. If I don't like drinking bottle of water, it's just tell my wife, please, anytime I come, I don't give me bottle of water, give me water in a cup. That's a good communication. But it's not me to tell her, just say, hey, this cup, that's not communication. You're not communicating, you're screaming. Do you understand? I might like my shoes kept in a particular order, right? And over the years, I've been a bachelor, my shoes have been like that. And I'm bringing someone to my house. She doesn't like the shoes here. I like my shoe here. Oh. She will not say, me, I like your shoe there. We come to an agreement. So communication has a lot to do when it comes to why marriages are failing. Because sometimes, when we are married men, one of the things we do is we forget that our wife becomes our friend. I, for one, don't have male friends. So what I do is that I don't drink. I've never drank in my life. But I've gone to club. I've had a number of teens encounters. So what I do in my house is I want my wife to be my friend. So what I do if I close from work straight, as much of I'm always eager to go home. Not because I have the most beautiful house, but because there's a comfort I enjoy in being in my house. And how do I achieve it? Is by communication. Do you understand? So when you don't have a proper communication, even in relationship, not even marriage, even in relationship, you don't have it will not go. Like she said, she made a point, and I like the point that you must be consistent over a lot of time. She said consistency brings results. If I start hitting this wall, before you know, I'll break into the next apartment. That's consistency. So consistency brings result. So of course, you used to calling someone 5 times a day, and all of a sudden you stop calling 2 times a day, and then someone is calling her 2 times a day, 3 times a day. What do you expect her to do? Attention will change now. Do you understand?
Why are you poking hands in my eyes?
And then before you know, communicate. So one of the things I try to in this aspect is that one, communication is very important. One of the reasons why most marriages fail is lack of proper communication. Until we develop proper communication, my dear, we can't get it. And my second point I title here is relationship. How do we take care of our relationship? Most times we don't service our relationship, and I'll still borrow from what she said. You must service.
I like the fact that you're borrowing. I hope you pay back soon.
You pay back sometime.
So one of the things I try is our relationship. How do we relate to one another? Like I said, this is a bottle of water, right? And I don't like drinking water in a bottle. Simple thing. I pay per now. I don't like water in a bottle. Change it. Now let me tell you that if you tell her this instruction today, that doesn't mean tomorrow she will implement it. You take patience and consistency. You keep reminding her that you don't like it until it becomes part of her life. Now this is where we don't get it. We expect to give a command, bam, and tomorrow you don't want it to repeat itself. Of course, we're humans. You know how many instructions she's taking? She has a boss. You know how many instructions she's taking? So the third one is financial stress. You know, like she said earlier in our earlier discussion that the man is supposed to take everything, right? And you take everything, and then you're not achieving all. So you'll be financially stressed. Before you know, you want to think of how to, and then you don't want any interruption. Lastly,
I said that.
Yes, you said a man should be able to cater for a lot of things. A man should be supportive. That's what you said.
Okay.
So we have personal issues. Like I said, I shared my story. One of my stories, my wife. I had a personal issue. I didn't discuss with her. I was just trying to find a way around it. And when I told her, before you know, she got me 1 or 2 calls, and then issues were solved for me. Then external pressure. You know, external pressure. Maybe you have your neighbor, this gossip neighbor. It's your husband. Why is he not doing this? It's your wife. Why is she not doing this? You understand? So people begin to want to help you discuss your marriage. Then I think I'll leave it at that. The other ones I capture them as under abuse, and I title abuse. We have physical abuse, emotional abuse, and verbal abuse. Then we have trauma, we have health issues, and different life challenges. So some of the time, these are some of the things that cause marriages to fail. Let me just bring a point. One of the things I've told myself is that one day I've asked myself, I said, what if you wake up today now and then I don't have one hand? What would now happen? You know, some things we don't plan in life, man.
Honestly,
and I tell people that
when you talk like they say you are thinking negative.
I tell people that God has not finished creation until the day you leave this earth. God is not done with your creation until the day you leave this earth. I know someone that just traveled to Kaduna State to go for a program, came back with an amputated hand. What happened? He was in a hotel room. There was a robbery attack. They came to him. They collected everything. What they stole from the hotel. They were looking for a car that would convey. Unfortunately, it was only his car that slept in that place that night. They traced him back to the room and said, "Why did you tell us that you have a car? Why don't you give us a car?" Pew! They were trying to slap his head. They just put his hand and then the shot put his hand. Someone that just traveled, his wife told bye, he came back with one hand. So, like I said, that there are eventualities of physical disorder when my wife gave birth, I became intentional about a lot of things. I became intentional about her exercise. Because of course she gained more weight. I like them large. My friends will know if they watch, they start laughing. I like them large. So she became extra weight. So instead of me to start running and leaving my wife at home, I had to find a way of trimming her back.
I think we have treated the
Lack of
what why marriages fail, right?
yes.
So now the fourth question I have for us is, so eventually, like what I said, from our first question and second question, we knew so much. So, but at the third question, we are seeing that marriages fail and we are giving the reasons. So now the fourth question will go like, so where do we miss it? Where do we miss it?
Okay. I said it with me.
Let me start with you.
Okay. One of the ways, like I said, I'm going to match the third and fourth questions as one. I'll treat them as one entity. Where we miss it is first our communication pattern. When I talk about I'm very particular about this communication because there's how to pass an information that a person will feel remorse about you, and there's how you can pass that same information and it will cause fight. You understand? For example, one of the things in my I don't like I said, I'm not having a perfect marriage. I'm still building. I'm not 10 years. I'm just 2 years for God's sake. So, but over time, we've tried to bring a lot of things that will help us in the journey ahead. One of the things we've learned is don't raise your voice in every correction. But have you raised our voice? Yes. But most of the time, we find ourselves going out of. For me, but sometimes when my wife begins to say, I'm not okay with this one, I say, I'm not gonna say, when you finish raising your voice, bring it down. Then let's talk about it. At that moment, I see the one color should not the voice will come down. Then we'll have the conversation. If I'm also raising my voice, she'll tell me, share you're shouting now. You want to show me that you can shout. Okay, keep shouting now. Let me see who is hearing you. You understand?
That is when you are shouting, nobody is hearing you.
And at that moment, I'll drop my voice and say, hey, babe, sorry, I'm shouting. Sorry, don't mind me. Me, I have a loud voice. And I'll find a way I'll play around it. So until you understand your communication pattern, you will not get it. You will just be running up and down, just be going up and down, this one. And like I said earlier, that when some of these things are built and achieved, are in the stage of courtship, that is where you build an effective communication. Because communication gives birth to everything. Emotional, your relationship, your sex life, and everything. If you have good communication in your marriage, it will go a long way. That as little as anything, why do we even pray to God? We have a relationship with God, so why do you pray? Do you understand? It's a communication, it's a constant, you don't want to be missing. If whether you're a Muslim or a Christian, just imagine spending 24 hours without praying. How do you feel?
You didn't ask God for anything.
You didn't ask God for anything, you just did that where you are, you want to be just going your life. Doesn't make sense. So until we understand, when we say we're not talking about, hey baby, how are you? How was your day? No, that's not what I'm talking about. There are different ways
Deep communications.
There are different ways of
Topics that matter.
My house are always accusing me that I'm actually the late sleeper. I don't sleep early. I'm the late sleeper. Sometimes you can see me 1 a.m. I'm awake. Then my wife is an early sleeper. But by 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. my wife wants to sleep. So I force them, say everybody in the house now will stay till around 11. So before you know, the morning sleep is too short for them. So I told them, okay, fine, everybody come and sleep yourself. I've tried to adjust that, it's difficult. That's so, but that being the case, we have to find a way of okay, how do we achieve this? How do you achieve this? So what we do, we adjusted our prayer time to 8 o'clock. So maybe after 8 o'clock, if you want to go and sleep, you go and sleep. If you want to have it, so it's not after 8 o'clock, we all go back inside. We said maybe we have a movie or watching all of us, we watch 9, 10, everybody goes to the bed. Hit the bed at 10. Whether you're sleeping
or not, be on bed.
Be on bed. Do you understand? So we must have a way of it will have become a correspond something. Sometimes my wife will be awake by 4. Then she'll not be eating me left. Or she'll be watching video and loud the volume. Of course, I'm human now. I'll now wake up. Say, I'll be back for now. This is your video. She might tell me, say, must you be sleeping? Can't I just interrupt you? Do you understand?
Right.
And the rest of them. So Those things can actually give correct. But when you have a proper communication about it, you're able to know how to navigate some of these things. So we must, one of the things we do going forward in marriage is that we must check our communication pattern. How do you tell your wife I love you? How do you tell your wife I need food? How address your wife to your children? How do you correct your wife? How do you correct your wife in the presence of your in-laws? How does she correct you too? Vice versa. So when we look at some of these things, it will help us. We might not get it 100%, but I'm telling you that if you're able to deal with your communication pattern, everything in marriage, as much of everything in this life is communication. If you are not called us for this podcast, we will not be here. We're not magicians, right? And the fact that you're married to somebody doesn't mean you know the person's heart. You can't know the person's heart except the person communicates to you. When your partner is angry with you, are you sensitive enough to understand that this person is not happy with you? That's another communication. The moment you come and say, hey, this one, you can't say I'm angry with you. No, that's how they will behave. You will know. So communication is the father of all. Then the children are where we begin to see relationship, emotion, how to assemble this one, how to assemble that one. So for me, one of the ways that this could help us is the fact that we need to check our communication pattern. How do we communicate with one another?
I think for me, it will be awareness. Like, you need to be aware of what you want. You need to know that you need to be aware that this woman or this man is my own. This marriage is my marriage before considering your family or your friends. If you find what you need in a woman, even if she has a cracked skin or she doesn't have that physical look, please settle for it. You don't have to please your friends. I heard a friend of mine said something. She was like, "Oh, you're a public figure, so your man should look like this. He should have a number of this number of cars in his garage before." No, you don't have to impress them. Be aware of what you want, and once you find it, settle for it.
Did they tell you that your man should look tall and huge? Did they tell you that?
I hope you're not considering yourself.
Not exactly. I'm just asking a simple question.
Can I chip in something from what she just said?
Yes.
I have always said that if you can't get what you want, you use what you have to get what you want.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are having a nice time already. I believe we have learned a lot. We are going to just treat the last question because our goal here is not just to discuss problems, but is to discuss problems and proper solutions to them. And our last question for today is: what can be done to prevent further failure of marriages?
Well, if I want to respond to this question, one of the things I've captured in this last question is love intentionally. When you love intentionally, there's every possibility that you enjoy marriage. And what happens over time is that a guy who toast you, all do all the procedure and the rest of them to woo you and the rest of them, and all of a sudden the girl is all yours, and then you forgot how you got her.
That's what she spoke of. Consistency.
So we have consistency and we have intentionality. You have to be intentional about it.
Mm.
You know, you can consistency. Let's say I use the example of this wall now, right? Let's say I want to access the next one, right? Now I can be breaking this wall without a focus, without what I want to achieve. I'll not be hitting the wall, bah, 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 right? After I succeeded, what's my intention of putting the wall? That's called intentionality. You can be consistent doing the wrong thing. But with consistency and intentionality, you get results. You understand? You can be consistent in doing the wrong thing. Right? For example, you can be buying gifts for a wife, buying gifts. You're constant buying gifts every week, you're buying her gifts. You understand? But you are not intentional about the gifts you're buying. Maybe you didn't.
So probably you may not be buying the kind of things she even likes.
Do you understand? So over time, you see, but these 5 love languages that we talk about, that we're talking about every day, I tell you that everybody wants the 5, but they appear at different times. Let me tell you, when I was still dating, sorry, I've been using my wife as an example because that's the only one.
Of course. That's what we have.
When I was still dating, I loved time. I love time attention very well. Want to finish me, give me time. I can be in a room for months with one woman and never get bored. There are different activities I find us doing. But when I get married, I discovered that let's say now they heavy me too. Do you understand?
Please, I would
And
like to know those
and
activities
my
to continue from here.
okay. And now my wife is the one that as if now it's apparent that as if she's the one now looking for my own time. Because I'm now busy, I'm traveling, I'm here and there. Do you understand? So, like I said, over time, our love languages tend to shift based on societal demand. Do you understand? Someone that used to love gifts, all of a sudden might feel that I've had enough, so I need something different. I need a vacation. Yeah. One of the things I advise couples go for vacation. It's very important. As a matter of fact, for the 12 years I dated, I had always marked my anniversary. Well, relationship anniversary. My relationship anniversary is 20th June. That's when she agreed to start dating me. So I captured it as my anniversary date.
I used to have 11th April.
And that date we celebrate. Till today we're married, but we celebrate that 20th of that June. That's the day we officially started dating, 20th of June. Because my birthday is 15th. Her birthday is June 7th. Mine is June 15th. So it was shortly after my birthday that she agreed to start dating me in a relationship. So we marked that day. These are special events for God's sake. How can I be on the same bed and then I wake up, it's on my wife's birthday and I forgot? I know some people will fight me about oh, it does that matter. It does matter. As a matter of fact, I tell people that there are two special dates in your life. The day you are born, the day you die. Those two, history can never forget them. Yeah, but if you see poster of people that died, they tell you that they married on April this one, April that one. Nobody will tell you they married. It's when they are reading your biography, that one will be captured in your biography. But in the poster, the first thing we see is the day they give birth to you and the day you die. That's the most important date in your life. Unfortunately, we don't know, we cannot celebrate the other one, we can celebrate only one. That's the day. So go for your vacation, celebrate one another. Whether you say I was a social media person, I post a lot, but my mark is not. But you know that now I don't post on social media because I married someone that doesn't post on social media. So over time, she kept talking, talking, talking. As a matter of fact, there's one time I did makeup and put on social media. People were calling Bobrisky, Bobrisky, Bobrisky. And I'm happy about it. I was just laughing. Yeah, at this I became a woman. I was angry about it. She fought me like this. Then we're not even married. How can people call it Bobrisky? Do you know what Bobrisky is and the rest of them? You get. I said, I said, stop posting the rest of them. And today I hardly even post on social media. I'm on social media, but you hardly see me post anything. The only place you see me posting on my WhatsApp status is because those my WhatsApp status are people I know. You understand? So I post. Facebook, you have friends that you don't even know them. You became friends with them, you don't know. So intentionality should be the watchword for us here. Consistency. She gave consistency and giving intentionality. So imagine together comes consistency and intentionality.
Miss Joyce, do you like to add to this last question? What can be done? Okay. Okay. So, thank you very much, guys. At this point, we have come to the end of today's episode of Why Marriages Fail. Now, mind you, don't just go yet. I want you to know that we are going to have a part 2 of this discussion because today I have a married man and I have a single lady. In our next episode, that's the part 2, we are going to have a married woman here and then we have a single guy. We need to hear why marriages fail from a balanced perspective. Because what a single lady may be saying about why marriages fail may not be the same thing a single guy will be saying about why marriages fail. And what a married man will be saying about what marriages fail may not be the same thing that a married woman will be saying about why marriages fail. So I want to encourage you to keep your fingers crossed, subscribe to our channel, so that by the time we drop the next episode of this discussion, you'll be following it bumper to bumper. By the way, I must not forget to say thank you to my guest again, Miss Joyce.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Shake a gentleman, Mr. Isaac. Thank you very much for coming.
Always a pleasure, sir.